Hi, Julie here, and how to know if your child has OCD. This is a big question, and sadly I didn't know what to look for and how to know if my child had OCD, and hence we ended up feeding her OCD condition until it got so bad we had to get CAMS involved, or actually KIT, which is a specialised team in CAMS. So based on this is why I now write books to raise awareness to OCD and what child OCD is, by helping parents to establish how to spot early signs of OCD so it doesn't take control of your household like it did with mine, how to actually learn to speak up to the intrusive thoughts, and also consequences of actions and words, because within the story you actually see Annabelle become panicked by an incident that happened where something was made fun of her on her face, and it resulted in her then carrying out all sorts of bizarre rituals to satisfy the hungry monster. Because with OCD, what it does, it actually seizes an opportunity in certain children's minds to start issuing controls, and it's usually as a point of a trigger or massive anxiety. It moves into their head, and you'll be amazed what both your child and you will do to satisfy its demands. So what are some early signs to look out for, and how do you know if your child has got OCD? Here are a few obvious ones that I can think of. It can be when your child is doing something over and over again, like washing hands, or maybe hand sanitizing, or turning switches off, or counting, or tapping. There can be numerous things that they can do. Another way is if they're taking longer to do something, like what in particular, showering or getting changed. Being late is often a big telltale sign, because it means that they're spending so long doing rituals that it's making them late and they can't plan time any longer. Low school attendance can be another point, because sometimes they don't want to leave the home for risk of becoming contaminated. I'm just trying to think of a few others now off the top of my head. Keeping the parts of their body covered. There's lots of things really, but they're the main ones that I can sort of think of from my own experience. So what is OCD? The O bit is obsessions, and they're basically bad thoughts. Now, most children at some point or another will have bad thoughts sometime in their lives, but whereas most children can just dismiss that thought without any further thought towards it, and they can just carry on with their normal lives, with a child with OCD, they can't release the thought. Alright, that thought stays there, and it results then in rituals that make them feel safe, or they think they're keeping others safe. It can be a form of like neutralising, just for them to feel that everything is clean again and everything's okay. But the more they do it, the more the demands come, and they just get bigger, and you just see more and more things added to what they're doing as part of the rituals. And these rituals are not even enjoyable, they're exhausting. To the extent, this is why children often then avoid doing something altogether that involves OCD, because the ensuing rituals are so exhausting that they just want to sleep all the time, so they prefer just not to do whatever makes them feel unsafe to begin with. The C is for the compulsions. They are the rituals that they do to make them feel safe. Things like washing hands, hand sanitizing, tapping, counting, turning switches on and off. There can be all sorts of rituals they carry out. And then the D is for the disorder bit, and that's just where the thought becomes trapped and goes round and round in their mind. Almost like being on a wheel really, and that's the disorder bit, in that it takes over their life and they can't continue with a normal life because they feel that not doing these things is going to cause them harm or distress. So hope that's helped. That's a brief idea of what OCD is, how to cope with OCD in your child, and how to know if your child has got OCD to begin with. Hope you found it useful. Please visit my website if you'd like further information about OCD and about my first book in my Mind Monster series. The website you need to visit is www.themindmonsters.co.uk. I'll pop a link in at the bottom. And that covers today's brief video on what is OCD and how to know if a child has OCD. See you on the next video.